This is the number one observation from my side, is that you genuinely enjoy each other's presence, even if it's as friends. Welcome back to the channel. It's already June, so we have some new topics to talk about. Today I really want to talk about real love at a wedding. So in May, I flew to Italy and joined a friend's wedding. And there I thought about what I actually observed from a long-term loving healthy relationship slash marriage. And I would like to share with you guys the common things that I observed that would contribute to a long-term healthy relationship. And in this case, it could be marriage as well. And by the way, shout out to Amber and Felix. Happy marriage. I would like you to picture two scenarios. And both are when you're going out with your partner in a social situation to meet people that you never met before. So scenario A is that your partner is somehow way more outgoing and sociable, so they went on to interact with new people, talking with new people, but not necessarily including you. You never really see that their eyes lays on you, have eye contact. But then you thought to yourself like, yo, I'm an adult, so I'm going to socialize myself as well. And you either join a conversation in a group with them, or you just trying to explore anything you want to do at the time. You are an adult, you're free, okay? This is scenario A. Here comes scenario B. Scenario B is that you go together and you socialize separately, together, however it is. But you or your partner will from time to time lay your eyes on each other, have eye contact, and just basically checking each other out if they're okay. And everyone have a different ways of communicating. It could be just like an eye contact. They kind of know that like, you're okay, you're fine. Okay, then it's all good. Or they just directly talk to each other, check in. Hey, how are you? They have something going on. They talk to each other a bit. Why did I say two different scenarios specifically? Because personally, I've experienced both. And I also observed that it also happens to other couples. That is when I went to a wedding or went to a social situation, seeing how other couples act in a social situation where they don't know everybody around. And this is the common thing that I realized, okay? Are you ready? Is that they have this glaze on each other. They may not say a thing, but they have their eyes on each other. Why? Ta-da! Because they care about each other. They care about each other's feelings. They want to make sure they're gonna have a good time as much as they do. And that is why they would check in with each other. Not constantly, but you see that it will happen. So, subtle glances to check the emotional state without asking directly. And if they sense something is different, they will adjust the behavior accordingly. Either they will directly ask like, how are you feeling? Are you okay? Or they just go somewhere else together, or they just basically say, hey, you stay here, I go. There will be communication. And all of these actually aligns with the emotional attunement that was studied by John Gottman. John Gottman is the one that talked about the four horsemen of the apocalypse: the criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. Today, I'm not going to talk about these particular topics, maybe in the future, but I want to take out one line from the book that is relevant, or like showing the opposite of it, is that in unhealthy relationships, you feel unseen, but in healthy ones, you feel noticed, even in silence. And I really want to emphasize this because I experience the differences. I didn't know that if someone actually loves you, care about you, they actually pay attention to you. And if you are someone who have never truly experienced that, it's very easy for us to make excuses why it's not needed or why it shouldn't be essential in our relationship. You would think, for example, I am an adult. I don't need to be checked in all the time. I am okay. I can carry and handle myself in a social situation. I'm not a baby, you know. And we both social butterflies, so we just go out and talk to different people, and then we gather together and talk and connect with each other. I understand, and there are people who are like this, so I'm not like strictly saying like, wow, next time when you're going out with your partner, try to separate and see if they're ever gonna check in with you. No, I'm not trying to say that it is something so obvious and it's gonna happen every time, but you definitely felt it. So if you haven't yet, try to observe the people around you, your partner, or your own relationship. Is it something that you found in common? Let me know in the comments. There's another thing that I observed, that when it's a good relationship, the partners will act as a team to solve a problem, but not as enemies or opponents. Easier said than done. Have you ever been in a very stressful situation? It could be anything in life. When you lost a job, when you have a really bad day, and so on. Different people have different threshold of handling stress. It doesn't matter how successful someone is or how intellectual someone is. Handling stress is another skill set. There are people who are emotionally mature to realize that all of these things I'm feeling, like stress right now, has nothing to do with my partner. I just have a really bad day, something is going on, but I definitely want to relieve my stress. In this case, they are still able to approach their own feelings and solve a problem or communicate with their partner as a team, not leashing out on each other. Sometimes, I mean, we are not robots, we are not perfect. We would have done that. But you're also quick to realize that you're not supposed to do that. And then you correct it, and then you talked about it, and then you help each other feel better. I think this is all it's about. Is that when both person are stressed, what are you gonna do then? Good question. If both are in a stressful situation, they have the awareness to realize that we're both stressed right now. Let's take a break, you know. Maybe let's try to help each other out. What is on your mind? What is bothering you? This is something that I observe from long-term partners, you know. They are not gonna argue, but they are working as a team to solve a problem. And the most important thing is that they are actually assume good intent even during conflict. They don't forget that they love each other, they're here for each other. That's why you're in a relationship, that's why you're in a partnership. So even though things going really bad, shit's flying around and all that, they still understand that even if there was a conflict, there was a fight, there was good intent trying to solve this conflict. So I would say you really can tell a lot about relationship by how they handle small stress. Because these are the everyday, like life moments. It's not romantic gesture and so on. And I would say this is one of the most important elements. And here comes the third observation. This is actually to add on the first point that I was sharing, is that they are secure enough to exist independently. Okay? They don't cling to each other. They expand through each other. So if one person is spending time with each other's friends separately, they feel comfortable. They don't feel insecure about it. They don't worry about it. The reason why is because They both have a secure attachment style. I know not everybody wants to have these and you have to work towards it, but in a long term relationship, it should definitely feel that way. You shouldn't feel worried about, oh, my partner is going to admit that this particular friend, and I'm really worried, and I really feel like something's gonna go on, and you can't even explain it sometimes. Are you doubting your partner? Are you worrying the other person would do anything to your partner, and then what, in the end they abandoned you? You really need to check in with this kind of feelings and worries, because personally I experienced that in the past, and I would still contribute to, sometimes it's a certain level of truth because you don't fully trust your partner. And that is when you need to look into yourself. Is it a wound, or is it something about your relationship or your partner that you are uneasy about? So you need to figure this clearly before you tackle it. And last but not least, you will find them genuinely like each other. This is so simple, but in my opinion, the most important thing. They are friends. This is usually often overlooked because people look at the big moments of romantic gestures. But the day-to-day interactions speaks a lot about the tightness of their relationships, because they would usually laugh together, they have jokes and enjoy each other's presence even you're not doing anything particular. Some couple love each other, but they don't actually like each other. And you can feel the difference instantly. This is the number one observation from my side, is that you genuinely enjoy each other's presence, even if it's as friends. We often date someone because we're attracted to them romantically, sexually, however it is. But then when everything dies down after some time, you realize that, like, do I actually like this person? Interestingly, the answer could be no, but you will lie to yourself in your head because you don't think about this, right? Like, I'm attracted to this person. But in reality, you can attract to someone, but you don't like them. And that would be an issue, and that would also determine the longevity of your relationship. So, to sum it up, I would like to ask you these reflective questions. Give it is like your current relationship, or potentially in the future when you're getting into the relationship. First, do you feel emotionally seen? Second, do conflicts feel like teamwork or a battle? Third, can you be yourself independently? All these questions will help you have more clarity about your relationships or what you need to look at in the future when you're trying to get into one. Remember that real love isn't intense all the time. It's all about the consistency. It's steady and it should feel safe. So maybe the goal is not find someone who gives you the butterflies, but someone who can make you feel at home even in a crowded wedding. And that's it for today. And thank you for listening. I will continue to make another topic for next week. And as always, if you have any suggestions, if you have any questions, if you want to share any stories, please send it my way. I have fun doing this, and I would like to have a little bit more in-depth topics, but that will require someone to give more input as well. And I will also try to be consistent, so never miss a week. See you next week.